Hello, YouTubers out there. This is Jerry at the Movies. A upcoming sequel called Halloween 3 in 3D, or Halloween 3D, is due to come out in Halloween of 2012. My only real issue with this is the fact that the first two Halloween films by Rob Zombie, Halloween in 2007, which was intended as a remake or reimagining, although they're both really the same thing, of John Carpenter's horror classic Halloween, and Halloween 2, which bears very little relation to the sequel that John Carpenter was involved with, director Rick Rosenthal, back in 1981. These two movies, the first one by Rob Zombie, just was an awful film. I mean, it's just a relentlessly brutal film, extremely violent and nonsensical and just plain stupid. I was very disappointed in it, but what can you expect? I mean, I admire Rob Zombie's work in House of a Thousand Corpses, or that animated film that doesn't come to mind right away. But by and large, I mean, and his music isn't bad, but this Halloween film he did was just completely uneven and just relentlessly violent. Now, Halloween 2, that came out in 2009, was certainly better, but by no means any less brutal. And I just got a real bad taste in my mouth watching those two pictures. I mean, they're nothing like, I mean, even some slasher films don't feature nearly that much brutality, which wasn't needed. But anyway, leaving that aside, Rob Zombie apparently thus far has no involvement whatsoever in the third Halloween, which, you know, I never thought I'd live in a world where there would be two movies in cinema history called Halloween 2, two movies called Halloween 3. But hey, there you have it. There's two movies called Friday the 13th. I mean, I know there are remakes all the time, but when they start remaking the sequels and they have the same, it's just insane. Now, the reason I bring up Halloween 3 in 3D, which I can't imagine that really working very well, but I don't judge until I see something, so somebody on Facebook made the mistake of not looking carefully at the Internet Movie Database listing for Halloween 3 and thought John Carpenter was involved in writing it. And the truth is that he's not. John Carpenter's not involved. They're just he wrote the characters that he created. He still gets based on characters from John Carpenter credit, or by John Carpenter. Now, anyway, the mistake that was made was that John Carpenter would be writing Halloween 3D, and he is not. He's not involved at all in any capacity whatsoever. Actually, the writer is Todd-Farmer, who wrote My Bloody Valentine, the 2009 remake, which was done in 3D. Jason X, and apparently he's working on a reboot, reimagining, remake, but we'll call it just a remake of Hellraiser. They're apparently going to follow the Clive Barker novel more faithfully than the Hellraiser franchise, or at least the original Hellraiser did. And the director is Patrick-Lussier, who served as a film editor on films such as Scream and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And some of his directorial credits include Dracula 2000, Prophecy 3, and White Noise 2. But this doesn't exactly excite me. But what was exciting at first, even though it was a mistake, was hearing John Carpenter might write it. And then I realized that John Carpenter, who wrote the first, I believe he also wrote Halloween 3: Season of the Witch back in '82. So he was involved in the first three Halloween films, and he was going to do a Halloween 4, which had a very different scenario than what it eventually became. And he just said, "You guys do what you want, I quit, goodbye." So I figure John Carpenter, who doesn't normally sequelize his own work, I mean, aside from Escape from L.A., which was a sequel to Escape from New York, certainly wasn't involved in the Thing prequel that's out now in theaters, so But it was kind of exciting for a moment just to hear that, but it's not true. So John Carpenter is not involved, but that would have been grand if he wrote it and they gave him free reign. But you know how it is with horror directors now. I mean, John Carpenter's new film, The Ward, had a limited release this year, and it seems like it's difficult for him to get financing to do original work. So he gets, I guess, a paycheck for the Halloween remakes and remakes of his own films like The Fog and so on. But doing something of his own, that seems like it's a tough call. And Wes Craven, I know, doesn't get to do nearly as much of his own thing as he used to. So it's rather unfortunate. But that would have been a great idea for John Carpenter to write a script for it. But, hey, this is Rob Zombie's vision. I don't know how the hell they're going to do a Halloween 3 anyway, considering how Halloween 2 ended. Those of you who have seen it know how it ended. What is really the point? But, hey, that's the way Hollywood works. Halloween franchise will probably continue as long, maybe even longer after I'm gone. So, there you have it. And this is Jerry the Movies signing off.